Hello, my name is Ray Salazar, and this is Morning Reel, a 3 to 4 to 100 minute or so podcast of films that I review from all places in the hot desert to the cold, snow covered open world of Minnesota. Today, I talk about a film written, produced, and directed by the Coen Brothers. First name Joel, second name Ethan. These guys are great. They directed a film called Fargo. It's a 1996 black comedy crime film. Yeah, try to do that. Kind of hard. This film is great. It's a 90s classic. It's a Coen Brothers classic. It's a crime folk classic. And it is a good film to watch to study how visuals can not intensify drama, but push drama forward. And that's kind of hard to do, especially when you're mixing dialogue, because dialogue, obviously itself, action with dialogue itself, drives the story. But just visuals, having its place of its own, very powerful. Coen Brothers pull it off pretty well with this film. This film was great for the writing. The cat was not some, well, the cast is good, but it's really the writing and the screen direction. Obviously, whoever like did the scouting, great job. The music's pretty good. I would say William H. Macy and Frances McDormand, they just nailed their roles. Steve Buscemi, he nails his role too. But these two characters in particular, just the height of their of what they kind of represent, not in just in the film, but like in society. This film like touches upon the alpha, not necessarily the alpha male, but the alpha person. And it's all over the place. Written by, directed by, produced by the Coen Brothers, starring Frances McDormand, William H. Macy, Steve Buscemi, Harvey Presnell, Peter Stormare. Cinematography by Roger Deakins. Edited by Roderick Janes. Music by Carter Burwell. Production companies Polygram Film Entertainment and Working Title Films. Distributed by Gramercy Pictures, Polygram Film Entertainment. This film came out on March 8th, 1996. I was 6 years old. I never went to go see it. I remember seeing posters of it. My parents were not into the Coen Brothers. I didn't see a Coen Brother film till Oh Brother, Where Art Thou? I know, right? It took me till then to see it, but it's about a crime that went horribly wrong. It's about this salesman who just wants to become the man. He wants to be his own success. He wants to have a business of his own. Doesn't want to answer to nobody. Doesn't want to have to like do any of the nice work anymore. He just wants to get dirty. And as soon as he does, it just does not work out, and it becomes a spiral of defeat, depression, and sadness, really. And you can't be a man at that point, But it takes a man to go through what these characters went through in this film, as messed up as it is in this film. It's a crime that should not have happened. Like it should have just been a regular police stop, and it just did not go that way. And if you're desperate for money, man, like there's gotta be a lot of things that you might want to consider before considering kidnapping your own wife, holding her for ransom, and making sure that her father-in-law, who's a wealthy man, because he is a good businessman, or at least shark, as far as in the car dealership world, will pay him off, right? Easy peasy lemon squeezy. Not the case at all. And of course, the Coen Brothers are not going to make that easy. They're not going to show us a film where, like, where it's a happy ending. And it sucks. Like, this film it doesn't have a collective happy ending, It's not like a Disney film where even the bad guys, it's still not bad. It's still not a bad thing, I guess. But nah, as cold as it is, as bright as it is, it's a very dark film. It's hilarious sometimes, some of these characters, how they operate within themselves, within their peers, and even within like dealing with like the ops, right? And what I love about this film, and that I just discovered recently, because I've seen this film a couple of times throughout my life, right? I noticed that, you know, Steve Buscemi's character in particular, he may look like a tough dude. He may act tough and all that stuff, but he ain't tough at all. He's just as weak, insecure, dealing with self esteem issues, just as how Jerry's character, who is a family man, who tries to play by the book, is weak, um, doesn't really speak up for himself, unless like he's with his own family, right? And I mean, he's in cahoots with his father-in-law, who pretty much kind of like rules the kingdom in some ways in his life, and that kind of sucks. And obviously, when you see that dynamic, like you can understand. Not that you would support the character, right? But you can understand why Jerry Lundergaard is willing to, you know, hold his wife for ransom, you know, and it's crazy too. That's a crazy idea. Like, and you don't really see the character like think about the idea. He's just like, at this point, we see the character already invested in it. And obviously, as the audience, you know, we got to be invested with him. We got to see how this goes. And obviously, by the way he operates in life, I mean, it's probably not going to go well. And it's not going to go well amongst with like the other people in this film. I like the alpha societal type of, not agenda, but thematic that the Coen Brothers want to push on. And it's funny because you have a character who is a female who's focused, edgy, is on top of her game, and she's 7 months pregnant. Frances McDormand's character, Margie, even on her lunch break, dude, she's always on it. She's just like making sure that, like, you know, to solve this murder, you gotta like put your whole self in it. And it's kind of scary too, because, and the only moment you see her in fear is honestly when she's at Moose Bear Lake and she found the Tan Sierra. Tan Sierra, Tan Sierra. She pulls out her gun, and that's like the first time we ever see her, or rather a woman, pull out a gun. And even then, like, there's that sense of like, that small sense of insecurity, because it's not her only out there risking her life, but she's got a baby inside her. And like, I mean, it would suck to see a character like that die. And obviously, we see that is not the case. And I mean, I don't think the Coen Brothers would do that. Period. You know, it just doesn't seem like that. You know, like, she is the main character. She is the alpha. People respect her. You know, like the fucking cops in her department or whatever police station she's at. Like, they don't look down upon her. They don't talk down on her. Like, they give her a cup of coffee. They ask her if she's eating, and it's not even just the fact that like she's pregnant. Like, she's like a superior to some of these people, man, and it's pretty badass, you know. And for the Coen Brothers to write a character like that, it feels like she's not even. I mean, she's self-aware about it, but like, they write it in a way where, like, when Frances McDormand acts upon the character, it's so effortless. It's so normal. It's not pushed. I like that. I like that it's not pushed, you know? Like, when you see this character, you see this character not trying to be the character. The character is the character, period. You know, and you see all kinds of levels and shades of it, you know, with cops, with old colleagues, with their immediate loved ones, even with the criminals too, you know. It's very fascinating. And it's such a simple film too, you know. There's no explosions. You know, you see gunshots and that's it. You see Steve Buscemi getting friggin' beaten by a Native American with a belt. That scene's fucking hilarious too. Like, what the hell, Shep? I was banging that girl, dude. He's like, I don't give a fuck, dude. I'm gonna fuck you up. You think you're fucking tough, dude? Boom. Gives it to him. Makes Steve Buscemi shriek like a freaking girl, dude. And it's perfect. It solidifies the he's not such an alpha after all. And like, obviously getting beaten up is gonna motivate him to be like, you know what, fuck this shit, man. I want my fucking money now. I run this ship. Blah blah blah. His character, his partner's character, who's more taller, quieter, but this guy's in control 100% of the time, and we don't really see it. we kind of notice something, but even in the state of panic, this guy is in control, and I love that. Even when he like goes balls out crazy towards the third act of the film, I love the little level of comedy in this film too. And like sometimes like when I guess when you're talking about a serious situation, you gotta let some comedy in there, right? And there's a lot of comedy let in there. It's pretty good. And sometimes has nothing to do with the story. It's just like characters being themselves and like giving us a breather of sorts, and it's great. Music definitely adds to the film as far as its mysteriousness. It adds to the way the town looks and feels, which is very white and gray because it's always snowing or raining or whatnot. But the colors too, like a lot of tan, a lot of brown, not too many colorful colors, except when it's like in the nighttime. That's the only time where like things are like more bright, but it's because it's more concentrated evil. It's more of that darkness, the bad things of the society, and overall it adds a great balance to the film. I love how these characters, as unique as they are, some of them are very similar, some of them are obviously misunderstood, but we can see how can be a completely different person from another, but if you still have those similarities, like people are going to go play into that. My name is Ray Salazar. I give this film 4 out of 4 tokes. It's a great film. It's a good film to look at, like as far as like looking at a crime film, looking at a comedy film. Like the dialogue is great. I love how the people talk in this film. The you betcha, radio, all right, oh yeah, all that stuff, man. It adds authenticity to what you're watching, and you got people from like all over the world watching an American film, right? And we're seeing an American life, and I love how the Coen Brothers bring out Americana into their films by depicting like towns, small towns in the state of Minnesota or the state of Wisconsin, North Dakota, what have you, that particular Midwestern area. I thank them for it because it gives you a perspective of life. It gives you how, it shows you that like not every American film is all like Hollywood and shit, all bright and shiny, showing LA, showing Miami, New York. But like when you see towns like that, especially when they give off the vibe where like, maybe I shouldn't go to that small town anytime soon or whatnot. It's important to know. Like if I was a dude from like, let's just say Bulgaria, and I happen to get a copy of Fargo on VHS, and I'm watching it. This is like 2020 already. This film takes place in 96, and like, whoa, look at life in 96. Look how unique it is. It's a great film. Coen Brothers, do not stop making films. I gotta review more Coen Brother films, Burn After Reading, fucking Macbeth, Raising Arizona, which is a great, great film. I think it's a really great film. Oh, Brother, Where Art Thou? A Serious Man. Oh, my God, dude. Oh, boy. If you want me to review these films, send an email at officialmorningreel@gmail.com or sign up for my newsletter on morningshotfilms.co. My name is Ray Salazar. Follow me on Morning Shot Films on IG and YouTube. I mentioned everything else. On to the next film. Thank you.